Look at all of these veggies that you can still grow in September. If you thought gardening is over now, you are definitely wrong. Because wherever you have space in your beds now, you can still sow so many veggies. And the first one is a really nice one. It's a broad bean. This is a bean that not really a lot of people grow, but it's really frost hardy. You plant these seeds right now. Other veggie seeds are so tiny, but you really have something in your hands if you are growing these. And the broad beans will grow about this much before it gets really cold, and then they overwinter in your beds. And in the springtime they will have an advantage because they are much bigger and they will be much sturdier next season, and you will be harvesting them a lot sooner next spring if you start them right now. Did you know that there are peas that are frost hardy? This is one. The variety is called Zima, and I love this so much. We're playing the same game here as we do with the broad beans. These will grow a little bit before it gets cold, and then they will have this advantage next season, and this is why I love this variety. It's always the first one that I harvest in the season because they have this growth advantage. Something you can grow right now that is really exciting is garlic. It's one of the best veggies in the entire garden in my opinion, and it's so easy to grow, and it's the same thing as the beans and the peas. You plant it right now in order to have this advantage for the next season because it's also frost hardy, and you will harvest a lot bigger bulbs if you plant it before the winter, even though you can still plant it in March and April. The same goes for onions, and a lot of people don't know that there are frost hardy onion varieties out there. One is called Radar, and you can get these as sets and plant them right now. They also have this advantage, and you know that onions have a lot of pests. In the wintertime there are no pests, and you will be able to harvest these onions a lot sooner next year and will be a lot bigger if you plant them right now. I have 3 seed packs of the next veggie because I grow so much of it. It's spinach. I have a couple different varieties that I like. This one is called Butterfly. It's a really tender and smaller one. And this one is called Winter Giant, and it gets so big. It's such a nice spinach, and spinach is also frost hardy, which means you can harvest spinach almost all winter long. And the same goes for arugula. You can harvest arugula in the winter time and all summer long, and I think it needs to grow in every garden because it's so delicious on pizza. But if you prefer a normal lettuce, then I have one that is frost hardy too. It's a really special variety. This one is called Bacchus. It's a French variety. I'm growing this as a baby leaf in the winter time, and I protect it with a garden fleece, and this way I can harvest until March and it just keeps growing back. I love this variety. By the way, I am doing a video like this every month now, so if you want to know what to grow in October, just hit the subscribe button. I will let you know, and we can keep growing our veggies together. The next one is lamb's lettuce. This is also a frost hardy lettuce, and in my opinion it's the most delicious lettuce you can harvest in the winter time. And something you can still grow before it gets too cold are radishes, because they grow so freaking fast, and some varieties only need 18 days from sowing them to harvesting. This is really incredible. In my experience, a lot of varieties still take about 30 days, but that is still really fast in comparison to other veggies. And here is one that you can plant if you have a greenhouse or a hotbed. It is a Swiss chard. I love this one. It's a rainbow mix of all these beautiful different colors. I'm also growing this beautiful yellow one. They get so huge and they are so tender still, and this is a really nice red one that I also love to grow. And here I have 2 candidates. that are a little bit spicy. I use them for cooking and I use them in fresh salads, but I always mix them with a more mild flavored veggie. This is wintercress. You can harvest this all year long, and an Asian salad, and this is a really beautiful mix. It has all these different shapes and colors. I love growing both of these because they are so frost hardy and they spice up a lot of dishes. If you like it more on the mild side of flavors, you might like this one because it's also frost hardy. It just has a really nice mild flavor. It goes with a lot of dishes, which is why I love this one. Now is the perfect time for sowing it. What do we have here? It's an Asian veggie from the cabbage family. It also tastes really mild. It is pretty frost hardy and it's so beautiful. It looks like a blooming rose, but it's this big and green. If you have 10 of these in your beds, it looks really impressive. Here's a veggie that you can grow in a greenhouse or in a hotbed right now, but it's too late to sow carrots outside now. But what I like to do is to plant carrots in between my tomato plants in the greenhouse. In October or November, I will cut my tomato plants and remove them from the greenhouse. Then the carrots can take up all the space in the greenhouse, but they have this advantage of being planted right now, so they can get a little bigger before it gets too cold. It's a really nice way to utilize the greenhouse in the winter time. If you have areas in your garden right now that you don't want to grow any more veggies in, you should get your hands on some green manure. There are all kinds of green manures. What I like to use are the ones that add nitrogen to your soil because they take it from the air and they store it in their roots. And when you cut the green manure, whenever you want to start growing something else in your beds, it will be fertilized by the green manure. It's just so important to protect your soil from erosion over the winter, so don't leave your beds empty. Just throw some green manure seeds and the green manure will protect your bed and your soil from the elements and will build a lot of soil structure and feed all the microorganisms that are so important when you're growing veggies in your garden. And it's just a really important step that a lot of people miss because they think their soil needs a break, but it doesn't. And whenever you want to grow something else in this bed, you just take out your lawnmower or a pair of garden scissors and you just cut all of the plants that are growing on your bed, and then you just work the roots in a really shallow way in your garden soil so that you can easily start your next crop on the same bed. I will put a video that you might like to watch next over there, and then you just go outside and make the world a little greener. See you, bye! Mwah.